suspension. We bow our heads. It's kind of long. We come together today, the first day of the year, with purpose. We come to give thanks. We come, all of us, to be witnesses. And Lord, we come to ask your blessing. We first of all thank you that we are citizens of the United States of America. Thank you for that privilege. Continue to bless our country. We come as witnesses. Our mayor, our judge, our clerk, our councilman, when we come to take the oath of office,
an oath by which they promise to uphold the laws and the Constitution of our country and our city. And each of them will end their oath with, "So help me God." Lord, give them that assistance. That office to which our civic officials are called is that of public service. Servants. A role as servants, Lord. Your prophet Jesus reminded us of that. He said, anyone among you who aspires to greatness must serve the rest. And if you want to rank first of all, you must serve the needs of all. And so, Lord, we ask your blessing on our mayor and all these civic leaders here. May they continue to serve us with competence and wisdom and integrity and honor. Yet, Lord, these leaders do not serve alone. There are many men and women who have accepted the call, the vocation, if you will, to public service. They are our firemen and policemen, our garbage workers, our bookkeepers, office workers, our school teachers, our port authority workers, and ever so many more men and women who are our public servants. Lord, bless them in all the work that they do. And here we are as witnesses to an oath. May the promise contained in that oath by these men and women be our blessing. Amen.
Now the official business of the day. Starting our oaths of office. First is Robert Markovich, sworn in by Mayor Thomas McDermott.
I, Robert Markovich,
Do
solemnly swear
swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
that I will support the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently
and diligently
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of office of at-large councilman
of at-large councilman
in the city of Hammond, Indiana,
in the city of Hammond, Indiana,
according to the law
according to the
and
law
the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Councilman
Thank you.
Markovich.
We are all told, keep it short and sweet, and I plan on doing that. But Father Monsignor set the tone when he said he's going to have a long speech, so I don't know if I should follow along with that. But anyway, since I might have to see him in the confession, I'll do my duty and say thank you all for coming. I appreciate your support. All the city workers, police and firemen, and Happy New Year and be safe. Thank you.
Next is Dan Spitali, being sworn in by Mayor Thomas.
Okay, Councilman Spitali, please repeat after me. I, Dan Spitali,
I, Dan Spitali,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
to support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
the state of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently
and diligently
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of
of the office of
Councilman at Large in the City of Hammond,
Council at Large in the city of Hammond,
according to the law
according to the law,
and the best of my abilities,
best of my abilities,
so help me God.
help me God.
Congratulations, Councilman.
Good morning. I'm honored to have the opportunity to serve the council for the next 4 years. I was born and raised here, raised my family here. I know this is the place I want to be. My goal is to work with the administration under the leadership of Mayor Tom McDermott Jr., who has done many great things for our city. I will work with all departments, as well as the police and fire departments. We have to move forward and make this a great city for residents to move to, not out. I'd like to thank all the voters of Hammond for this honor, and the precinct committeemen and women for all their hard work. Special thanks to my family for their support. Thanks to Dave Ham and Dave Warple for their guidance and all the help with my campaign, and all others that helped with my campaign. Thank you. Let's keep moving forward and have a wonderful new year. Thank you.
Now, Janet Benez, also being sworn in by Mayor Thomas McDermott.
Place your hand on the Bible, one hand in the air, and repeat after me. I, Janet Benez,
I, Janet Vanez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
that I will support the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently
and diligently
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Councilwoman at Large
of the office of Councilwoman at Large
in the City of Hammond, Indiana,
in the city of Hammond, Indiana,
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my abilities,
and the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Councilwoman.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you very much for joining us this first day of 2016. It is a day of new beginnings for some and continued efforts for others. Congratulations to my colleagues. The election process is grueling and demanding, and often with great personal sacrifice. And sometimes we wonder why we work so hard to get here. For me, it's to serve. I work every day for the safety and betterment of my home, Hammond. It's not just 2 meetings a month. It's the preparation for those meetings, the phone calls, the emails, the Facebook messages, the meetings, and keeping in touch with residents and addressing their concerns. Thank you to the residents of the City of Hammond for allowing me to continue to serve you. Thank you to my family for your continued support and love. To my husband, Phil, thank you for your endless campaigning. And to our grandchildren, Yvette, Elijah, and Max, you are the reason that I do what I do. My hope is that one day, when you have a family of your own, that you will be as proud as I am today to call Hammond your home. Thank you to every city employee in the City of Hammond, those behind the scenes, and those out and about in the city. the water department, parks, code, sewers, public works. You are equally as important a public servant as any one of us on this stage. To our police and fire servants, you allow us to sleep at night knowing that you are there to protect us. Thank you for your service. Thank you to the young men and women of the Eastside Community Council and your willingness to make a difference. To Tommy Dorsey, Ann Herbert, Leroy Howard, you have taught me so much. I cherish your partnership and friendships. You are an inspiration to our young people and give hope to some of us older folks. Working together, our possibilities are endless, and I am honored to be part of that growth. Thank you so very much for being here today, and Happy New Year.
And now for district council people. First district is Mark Kelwinski, administered by his wife Linda, on the Family Polish Bible.
I, Mark Kolwinski,
I, Mark Kalwinski,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and diligently
impartially, and diligently
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of the City Common Council,
of the office of the City Common Council,
Hammond, Indiana, District 1,
Hammond, Indiana, District 1,
according to law
according to law
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you to my supporters, my friends, residents and voters of Hammond for walking through this journey of public office the past years and for having the confidence to do it for 4 more. Special thanks to Linda and our children who inspire me every day to be the best I can be. I look forward to continuing to work with our administration, department heads, city employees who are the best bar none, and the Common Council, both the old and the new. Much work to do, and I know we're all up to it. May we all have good health, peace, happiness, and wisdom for 2016. Thank you.
And from the second district, new but returning councilman, Peter Torres, both administered by Mayor Thomas McDermott.
I, Pete Torres,
I, Pete Torres,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently
and diligently
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Second District Councilman
of the office of Second District Councilman
in the city of Hammond, Indiana,
in the city of Hammond, Indiana,
according to the law
according to the law
and the best of my ability,
and the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Councilman. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, thank you and Happy New Year. Just want to thank my supporters and especially my family. Some of them are here with me. And especially Judy Wall, which supported me vigorously to this campaign. I'm usually have a short words, but I just want to say that I'm happy to be back in the government service. I was once a councilman back in 88, 92, so with Mayor McDermott. And that was the father, of course, of a present mayor, and I'm looking forward to work with his son. And there's a lot of things that have changed in the city, but one thing hasn't changed. We still are full of good people in the city. And I'm looking forward to working with them. not only with the colleagues, my fellow councilmen, with the mayor, but with the precinct organization and with everybody to serve the city of Hammond and the 2nd District. Thank you and Happy New Year again.
In the 3rd District, Anthony Higgs being sworn in by Commissioner Michael Reaper.
I, Anthony W. Higgs,
I, Anthony W. Higgs,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently discharge the duties of the office
and diligently enforce the duties of the office
of Common Council Member, Hammond District 3,
of Common Council, Hammond District 3,
according to law and the best of my ability,
according to law and the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
First and foremost, I'd like to say all praises to God from whom all blessings flow. When I initially ran for this office some years ago, I knew it was work to be done. I'm committed to my community and my city. And even though it's a new year, right now, my community is at a loss. We've lost 3 people from the East Hammond community in the last 5 days. McKinley Nuttall's wife, Ms. Nuttall, Alvin Price, Mr. Price, who owned a lot of property in my community in the city of Hammond for a number of years, and also Chair Weems, who worked for the city of Hammond for a number of years. Please keep those families in your prayers. Again, I look forward to working with the administration and doing what's best for this city and making Hammond a place to live. My prayer is that you support me in my efforts to make Hammond better. And I ask that all you have a great and prosperous new year. God bless you.
In the 4th District, William Emerson, oath administered by his son, William Emerson Jr.
I, William Emerson Sr.,
I, William Emerson Sr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
and I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
impartially,
partially,
and diligently
and diligently
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of City Council, Hammond District 4,
of the office of City Council, Hammond District 4,
according to the law
according to the law
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone. I've been widely known the last couple of years as the Lake County Surveyor's dad, but I am Councilman Hammond, and I've really enjoyed the last 4 years. But first and foremost, I really want to thank my wife, Jeannie. Without Jeannie, I wouldn't be standing here today, and I wouldn't be standing here 4 years ago. As a matter of fact, about 5 years ago, when I said to her, you know, I'm thinking about running for city council in Hammond, and she said, what? And since then, she's been my strongest supporter, and it worked out good the many nights of taking calls in the basement. My office is in the basement of our home. She's also a teacher, and so she works on lesson plans and grading papers, and so we kind of split up for a couple hours about every night dealing with that. So I could never have done any of this without her. So thank you, Jeannie. And I also really quickly want to acknowledge her sister, Sandy Finneran Oshevsky, and Steve Sharpnick, who made it out here today. We actually rang in the new year with them last night. Also, about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I got a call from my daughter, and she said, Dad, Rudy, that's her husband, just got tickets to the Fiesta Bowl. He just secured tickets to the Fiesta Bowl. I went, honey, that's fantastic. However, that's on the same day that your dad's being inaugurated at the Hammond City Council. So I want you to take some time, think about this. You know, you don't have to get back to me right away. Take a few days, you know. They are Notre Dame alums, by the way, both of them. 10 minutes later, I got a text that said, what size shirt do you want for the Fiesta Bowl? Needless to say, as we speak, they are tailgating right now. I'm sure having coffee or a Bloody Mary or something. So, and I don't begrudge them at all. Elizabeth and Rudy have supported us throughout our campaign, the first one and then the second one. And also, Bill Jr. is here today, and several months ago, Bill and I had a talk, and actually, I said, how's everything going? And I don't think he's ever heard this story too. He called me one day and said, you know, there's a caucus coming up for county surveyor, and I'm thinking about, you know, throwing my hat in the ring, and I told my wife Jeannie, and she said, what? So, you know, he's been a big supporter. He managed my campaign the first time around. A couple years ago, Debbie Yemenez, and by the way, is Debbie here? I don't see Debbie, but Debbie Yemenez is a city council secretary. Think about it, she handles calls from 9 people, letters to 9 people, calls from the city to 9 people, and gets back to us. And so I think we should give her a round of applause. I think she does a great job. And she gets help from Susan also, and I don't want to leave her out, but she said to me, you know, Councilman, you know, when you first took office, you had no grandchildren, you now have 3. And I said, wow, what, you know, I never thought about it that way in that time frame. And then briefly, and I'm going to wrap it up, I'm very proud to be one of only 4 Democrats, I learned this a couple months ago, in the history of Hammond in the 4th District to be elected. Mr. Louis Carubas, Dave Ham, who served 3 terms, Cynthia Matisowski, and myself. That's pretty good company, and I'm very proud of that in the history of the city. So with that, an opinion about being unopposed. I was unopposed, and it's a very strange place to be because you're all geared up for a big fight, and then you realize you're unopposed. So a department head who will go nameless said to me, why do you think you're unopposed? People just lazy, or are they scared of you? I said, I don't know if they're lazy or not, but I think they're scared of you. What the Monsignor said earlier, every department head at Hammond has, I think, contributed somewhat for me to be unopposed. So the job that they do, sometimes the same day I call them with an issue, it's resolved that day. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And so I have 25, 30 names in my pocket, and my wife Jeannie said, don't you dare, people want you to get on with it. So with that, I want to wish everyone a happy and healthy 2016. Thank you very much.
Now from the 5th District, Michael O'Pinker, ministered by his daughter Paige.
I, Michael O'Pinker,
I, Michael O'Pinker,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Indiana,
of the State of Indiana.
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and diligently discharge the duties of the office of City Common Council Member of Hammond, Indiana, 5th District,
of Hammond City Council Member, 5th District,
according to the law
according to the law
and to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Wow, where do I go from that? First of all my colleagues pretty much, except for Councilman Rachel, he hasn't spoke yet, but they pretty much said everything I was going to say. I just want to thank everybody here, all the citizens of the city, a great city of Hammond, for giving me the opportunity to continue for another 4 years in the 5th District. what I look at as the greatest district in the city of Hammond. But other than that, thank you folks for coming. Have a blessed and healthy new year. Thank you again.
From the 6th District, new councilman Scott Rakos, being sworn in by Mayor Thomas McDermott.
I, Scott Rakos,
I, Scott Rakos,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of
of the office of
6th District Councilman, City of Hammond,
6th District Councilman, City of Hammond,
according to the law
according to the law
and to the best of my abilities,
and to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Councilman.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone for coming out on New Year's Day 2016. This was my first time swearing in as an elected official, but the first time I've ever got sworn in as an adult was May 7th, 1979. It's on the Hammond Fire Department. My last day on the Hammond Fire Department was a couple days ago on Wednesday. I served the city for 36 years as a firefighter, dispatcher, and supervisor. My brothers on the fire department supported me in my effort to be councilman in the 6th District. I've come to realize over the past few months especially how much these guys have meant to me since the year 1979. I thank them for their service. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it as being my second family. I also want to thank my family here with me today. For most people, I'm known as Jay and Nick's dad. I could not be more proud of them, and I hope to make them proud too. Dustin's home, he's living in Colorado, and he's doing great, and I'm proud of him as well. My granddaughter, Gabriella, helps keep me young and makes me excited to be spending more time with her now that I'm retired from the fire department. She's a great little lady, too. Thank you, Gabriella. She's agreed to help me pick out some new playground equipment for Hessel Park as well. I have siblings spread out throughout the U.S. They send me their best wishes and support. My dad wanted to be here, but he's dealing with some health issues in Arizona. My prayers are with him, and I know his prayers are with me in my new endeavor. My mom went to heaven in 2011, and I know she's looking down and smiling on me today. I also want to thank my friends and supporters, including the precinct committee people, especially Cindy Murphy and Don Tomich, all the precinct committee people, my friends, and all those on stage today, including Mayor McDermott and Clerk Golick. All of you I consider my friends as well. I know now I will be working with them and the city department heads and workers to improve the 6th District and the city of Hammond as a whole. I look forward to the challenge the voters have entrusted in me and humbly ask for their support, patience, and assistance for the next 4 years. Thank you.
And now we're finished with our council people. We'll have the oath of office for City Clerk Robert Golick, administered by his daughter Cheryl Johnson.
I, Robert J. Golick,
I, Robert J. Golick,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully
impartially,
and impartially
and diligently discharge the duties of the
discharge
city,
the duties
of the office of the city clerk
of the office of the city clerk
of the city of Hammond,
of the city of Hammond,
Indiana,
Indiana,
according to the law
according to law
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Dad.
I was just handed a note, and I have to do a little housekeeping first. Even though my hair is light colored and combed to one side, and I'm wearing a red tie, I can assure all of you that I am not Donald Trump. So now that that is cleared up, I would like to talk a little bit about our oath of office that we give. It has always been very highly valuable and important to all of us and especially me as a city clerk, that to uphold the laws and the Constitution of not only the United States, but of the state of Indiana. And in the state of Indiana, there are a myriad of laws that all of us as elected officials must follow. Sometimes, however, there seems to be a conflict as to what the law says or the interpretation. And on that, I'd like to point out to a story many years ago when I was on the council, president of the council, and we had members on the council at that time, 8 Democratic members on the council and 1 Republican member, as the former mayor remembers. Anyway, as the president that year, I was calling Democratic caucuses, which was my understanding under the law that we could do prior to the meeting. Well, the Times and its publisher and editor had vastly disagreed with me, and they chose to have a meeting or ask for a meeting with me with their attorney, which I agreed to. Now, I got to tell you, I was scared to death because I had this little book and a copy of the statute, and I wasn't sure I was correctly interpreting the statute correctly or not. It came down to this. We sat down, we discussed it, and there are a number of items under the Public Information Act that you, the public, are entitled to and that we as elected officials can and cannot do. But one of the things that were listed in the law was that legislative bodies, such as your U.S. senators and representatives, state legislators, and in this case, the state of Indiana, the legislature of the Common Council has the right to meet before a council meeting to discuss business and to take action upon it when we walk out on the floor. The Times was very much against this, and I asked them, I said, well, isn't that what the law says? And they said, well, yes, but that's not the intention. I said, I didn't make the law. I'm just following it. Your issue is with the legislature in Indianapolis. And I have to tell you, to this day, that law still stands because the legislature has never changed that interpretation. And as a result of that, legislative bodies still today can meet to discuss business before they take action on the council floor. That was just one of the issues to clear up in regards to what we do when we take this oath. It is so important and entrusted to us, and it should be. You should demand us, as elected officials, to stand to a higher standard than anyone else. And with that, I want to thank all of you, especially my wife, Kathleen, my 5 children, my 11 grandchildren, my 1 grandchildren, and 1 on the way, another great-grandchild, and all the voters, because to accept and be elected to this position is a very humbling act, and I want to thank all of you. It is an honor and privilege to continue serving you the next 4 years. Happy New Year to everyone.
And now is an historic event. This is, and I'm probably the proudest person in the room right now because I've known this was a high school kid when I first knew him, and now he's become the longest serving mayor in a city that's 135 years old or so, eclipsing his father and some other unknown mayor. But he is, what you see is what you get with Tom McDermott Jr. He's all about family, he's about the city, about sports and Notre Dame, bike trails. So proud to be here and to announce that the 4th term mayor, first ever, will now be sworn in by Kevin Smith.
Ready, Mayor? Raise your right hand. I, Thomas M. McDermott Jr.,
I, Thomas M. McDermott Jr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and diligently
discharge the duties
of the office of mayor
of the office of mayor
of the city of Hammond, Indiana,
of the city of Hammond, Indiana,
according to the law,
according to the law,
and to the best of my ability.
and to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you. We're safe. Notre Dame doesn't kick off for another hour, so. I want to thank my fellow elected officials. We had this constant noon deadline hanging over our head the whole time today. To Father Semanchik and to Pastor Wilkerson, I want to thank you guys very much for participating in the ceremony. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me. To my family, Marissa, who is the longest serving first lady in the city of Hammond's history. Tommy, Chase, Patrick, Tim, Lindsay, my dad, Lynette, Brett, Kelly, Christina, Aaron, and Jordan. Big family, loving family. Couldn't do it without them. Thank you guys very much for being here. To the Hammond City Council, first off, Clerk Robert Golick. Clerk Golick took me under his wing when I was walking, and I'll never forget this story. We're walking around Hammond, and Clerk Golick said to me, Mayor, you need to remove this city from the floodplain. Remember that, Bob? We were walking around Hetzel. I said, explain it to me, Bob. And he explained it to me. And here we are, 12 years later, and we've removed thousands of homes from the Hammond floodplain. And I get a lot of credit for that. But I remember who was the first person in my ear with that advice. It was Clerk Bob Golick. I want to say thank you very much, Bob. Councilman Kowinski and I were elected at the same time. We've become very good friends over the years. He's a great councilman. I want to say thank you very much, Councilman Mark. Councilman Torres, I know my father and you had a great relationship when you were a councilman, and when you served the Hammond Police Department. I'm looking forward to working with you very much. Congratulations, Councilman. Councilman Higgs and I were also inaugurated together. I think he's done a great job in his district. His constituents have reelected him 4 times, and that speaks volumes for the great job he's doing in Hammond's 3rd District. Congratulations, Councilman Higgs. Councilman Emerson, the reason you are uncontested is because you're doing an excellent job. That's why. And this office you have in the basement of your home may be against code. I just wanted to point that out. Councilman O'Pinker, council president for 4 years now, which is unheard of. Councilman O'Pinker he's my councilman in the 5th. He's done an excellent job as councilman of the 5th District and as council president. Congratulations very much, Councilman O'Pinker. I have a wall in my office of the initial people that knocked on doors for me, and Scott Rakos is in that picture. I met Scott, I think, right after he got out of the Hammond Dispatch, and I watched him rise through the ranks of the Hammond Fire Department, and now he's retired, and he puts his name on the ballot, and he gets elected to Hammond 6th District, representing Hessville. I can tell you one thing I know about Scott Rakos. He's a quality guy with high integrity, and he's going to do an excellent job. Congratulations, Councilman. Councilwoman Janet Venez, Councilwoman at Large, is one of the most tireless workers for the city of Hammond. She goes to almost every single meeting. I go to as many meetings as possible, and every time I'm at a meeting, without fail, I see Councilwoman Venez there. She's literally one of the hardest working people on behalf of the city of Hammond. I want to say thank you and congratulations, Councilwoman. Councilman Dan Spitali, a wonderful person, Hammond through and through. I can't say enough about this gentleman. He is doing a fine job for the city of Hammond. He's been reelected now for the 2nd time on his own merit and actually served part of a 3rd term as well. Congratulations, Councilman. Looking forward to 4 more years. Councilman Markovich. I love working with you, Councilman Markovich. My first term, we fought. My second term, we had detente, and we've learned how to work together very well. I tell you what, Councilman Markovich has been on the Hammond City Council for a long time, and it's because he works hard and people trust him. And I appreciate everything you do, the viewpoints you bring up. I listen, even though I don't always agree. I'm looking forward to working with you for 4 more years, Bob. Congratulations. I know Judge Harkin couldn't be here today. I want to wish him well. I know he's been sworn in already. I don't think he's feeling very well. I just want to say congratulations to Judge Harkin and doing a fine job in the Hammond City Court. The 18 former mayors of the city of Hammond, my father and Dwayne Dietlow and myself are the only surviving mayors of this proud 130-year-old city. I want to say thank you. I feel it's my responsibility as mayor to appreciate what they've done for our city. And I already told my father, I gave him a really nice picture of the Hammond Marina. I felt that was appropriate because my dad built the Hammond Marina. And by the way, took a lot of crap for building the Hammond Marina. Believe it or not, but that's politics. You do bold things and people beat you up for it. And now we look back, and without the Hammond Marina, we don't have Horseshoe Casino. Without Horseshoe Casino going through the 90s and the 2000s, without Horseshoe Casino, Hammond Police and Fire would look a lot different. Hammond City government would look a lot different. Our city would literally look a lot different without the vision that he had to build a Hammond Marina. So congratulations, Father. Thank you for all your hard work. It's very nice that Mayor Dietlow and I have, obviously we ran against each other. We have a really good relationship now, and I talked to him last week, and I gave him a gift also. I'm going to try to reach out to the mayors because I feel it's my responsibility. I gave Mayor Dietlow a very nice gift of a picture of the downtown fountain, which he built. He also took a lot of crap for building that. And I thought it was a beautiful picture, and I thought it'd be a wonderful Christmas gift. But to Mayor Dietlow, I know you're not here right now, but I appreciate everything you did for the city of Hammond, Indiana as well. Congratulations, Mayor Dietlow. If I'm the longest serving mayor, it's because I have the best team in the history of the city of Hammond, Indiana, politically and professionally. I look at myself as I'm the general of 2 different armies. I have an army of city people that do the job, my police chief, my fire chief, heads of public works, the district supervision, whether you're in the sanitary district, the water department, the port authority, the park department. These people are top notch. They live in our city, they care about our city, and they work very, very hard. And when they do their job the right way, community development also, I see a lot out there, economic development, but when they do their job the right way, it makes me look good. And a lot of times, they're doing their job so well, I get the credit for it, but the credit should really go to the hardworking department heads and employees that are making the Civic Center look nice, making our events run well, bringing these great businesses to our city, building these beautiful bridges, building these beautiful streets and the lighting projects, because the department heads and the employees of our city, police and fire, do so well, it makes me look well. And if I have been blessed with the honor of being the longest serving mayor, it's because I am blessed with having the best department heads and the best city employees that one can imagine. So give it up for the Hammond City employees. My campaign team, Kevin Smith, my campaign manager, Dave Warple, the chairman of the precinct organization, Dave Ham, one of the original guys on my team, Jeff Smith, Nicole Sullivan, Tony Hopprich, Mike Swagger. I could talk for hours about the people that work so hard to help get me elected. 4 times. I mean, I remember in my first term, people were putting OTT on. It was a big thing at the time. I just got elected. I was the youngest mayor ever elected to the city. And they said OTT. It was a derogatory term applied towards me and my administration called one-term Tommy. I remember that. And quite frankly, I felt like they were probably right because we were doing a lot of things at that time that were controversial. And we've come a long way. And I have never been blessed with being uncontested at election time because I have a big mouth. And when you have a big mouth, you get opponents. But we've always pulled through. The campaign team is top-notch. The headquarters made thousands and thousands and thousands of phone calls. the door knockers made thousands and thousands and thousands of trips up on your doorstep, the yard sign blitz, the removal of the yard sign. There's so many thousands of man hours that went into my campaign and how hard we had to work on that campaign. I just want to say thank you. I couldn't do it without you. I walk into campaign headquarters sometimes and I would see dozens of people making phone calls, dozens of people working hard after working a full day at work, and I was just blessed. I'm blessed. And I don't understand how it happens, but it does. I just want to say thank you. So many people have worked so hard for me. I just want to say thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. And to Marissa, you're my rock. You tell me a lot of times when I'm wrong, and I need to hear that, because some people don't tell me that. You also support me when I'm right, and I appreciate that. Most of all, when I come home and I'm beat up, or I come home, I'm on top of the world, you're always there to level me out. And as soon as I walk up to get sworn in, she starts crying right off the bat, which makes me start crying. But Marissa, thank you very much for everything. Running our household. She's the real mayor. I never thought I was going to serve 4 terms. I thought I'd be 2-term Tommy. And then I said 3-term Tommy. That's it. Running for a 4th term has never happened before in the history of the city. It's something I'm very proud of, and I promise you every single day of my life I'm going to make this city proud, even when I'm not the mayor anymore, because I don't want to ever embarrass the city. I'm going to always conduct myself accordingly, and I tell you, I love the city. If there's one city in America, you know, there wasn't one other city I'd be a mayor of, ever. It's such a perfect fit because you allow me to be myself. Mark said something, it's important to me. Mark said, you know, one thing about Tom is what you see is what you get. I sort of pride myself on, you talk to me here, you talk to me in City Hall, you talk to me at a Notre Dame football game, or you talk to me when I'm coaching baseball. I try to be the same person at all times. I don't think of myself up here, I don't think of myself down here. I strive for consistency, and it's because of this city. You allow me to be myself, which I love. You really do. I could say things that are inappropriate sometimes. I could be myself. I don't have to put on a fake air to be the mayor of Hammond, and I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me do that. This is the best job I've ever had. It's frustrating, difficult, sometimes it's impossible. It's unfair, it's never ending, it's busy. But I tell you what, it's rewarding, and it's important. Hammond is a 130-year-old city. We have problems inherent with 130-year-old cities with the infrastructure challenges, funding challenges. We have pension costs that new communities don't have. We reside right next to the south side of Chicago, and we get big city problems right here in Hammond, which is this fairly small city, 80,000 people. When I went to China, they said it's a really small city, by the way, but we get big city problems in this small city. But I tell you what, we have the team in place to handle these challenges. To this day, 12 years later, my favorite part is still talking to our kids, going to the schools. I think it's important to communicate with our kids, to let them know that I'm your mayor and I'm a normal person, and that you could be mayor too. You know, you may be a young kid that thinks you have no chance of graduating college, but yeah, you could be the mayor. And I think it's important for them to see their mayor, to put a face with it, and to realize this guy's just like us. And I think that's important. I've made hundreds and hundreds of visits to classrooms while I've been your mayor. Helping people is definitely the most rewarding part, though. When somebody has a problem and they need help, who else can they call? They call the mayor. They call the council people, and that's our job, is to take care of business. My goals for the 4th term, and I know we got to get out of here soon, and this is not going to be very in detail, but I'm going to continue to run Hammond on a day-to-day basis at a high level. I'm going to keep good people running departments. If it's working, I won't mess with it. If it's not working, I promise you I have to do something. And that's something I take seriously, and I'm tweaking all the time. In fact, I've been tweaking over the last month while everybody else is celebrating the holidays. I was going into City Hall, and if it's not running the way it's supposed to, it's my job to keep it running that way. Sometimes when you get into office and you feel political allegiance because, well, I've known this person forever, we gotta keep on doing this. I'm not that guy. My job is to run this city and to run it in a way that makes you proud. And I promise I'm gonna keep on doing that. If it's not working, I will fix it. If it is working, I won't mess with it. The College Bound Scholarship is vital to our city. I think it's one of the reasons our city is thriving the way it is. What that program has done is stabilize the middle class. For generations, we've become accustomed to watching our best friends move out, watching young families move south or move east, moving out of our city and taking wealth with it, taking good families away, and we've stabilized that. With the College Bound Scholarship, we're keeping families here. Some say, well, you're keeping them here because it's in their financial best interest. Fine. They're here. We need them here. And then we could attract more families to move here. That scholarship is expensive, as Heather, my controller, will tell me. She came in and she said, Mayor, this thing's killing us. It's costing more than we anticipated. I said, Heather, that's a good thing. That means more families are moving here. That means more kids are going to college, and that's what the program's for. And I appreciate what she does. And she knows how important it is, just like I know how important it is, but we got to defend that. Be it through water sales to Illinois communities, which we've done, be it through gaming revenues, which we've used in the past. Defending College Bound is something that I will never tire of. This is a program, sort of my legacy, and I want to make sure that it's strong and it keeps going for years and years. The bike trail system is something Kathy Kaslerzak, when she was a councilwoman, was a real big proponent of it, and I love our Erie-Lackawanna bike trail, but it was broken up into pieces. So we started bridging over busy streets with bike trail bridges. Then we created new bike trail systems, going down to Monon, 4 new miles of bike trail systems. Then we bridged over into Munster. Now we're working around the George Lake Trail up in the Robertsdale section of Hammond. I tell you, Hammond, and we just recently completed, thanks to Mylan and the Port Authority, a whole stretch down Sheffield, where we have a brand new bike trail going on over there. Hammond is becoming known for its bike trail systems and our connections to Chicago, and this is something we should focus on. 50 years from now, people will be talking about Hammond's wonderful bike trail system. It wasn't like that when this administration took over. It was broken up into a lot of pieces, and that's something we got to keep working on, and it's something I'm going to keep on fighting for. City Hall, something we brought up recently. In the next 4 years, we have to have an answer. Fellow colleagues, we have to decide. Stay and build in the current location because it's falling apart. The back wall, the other day was a perfect example of City Hall. We had a car crash into the flower garden. At the same time, the 3rd floor was leaking in multiple locations. This is a beautiful building, okay? It's built in the 1930s. We either need to make a decision to stay put, rebuild, or the opportunity we have in downtown Hammond right now, which is the 8-story former Bank Calumet building, to move down there. It's a decision we have to make. I'm not going to lobby on this decision. I want the council to have, I want to have the support of the council, so we floated 2 resolutions to the Hammond City Council that they're going to consider next year. One resolution says stay and build at 5925 Calumet Avenue. The other resolution says acquire the building in downtown Hammond and prepare to move. One of those those two resolutions will pass, and I will act accordingly. I think it's important that I not lobby. I know which one I want personally, but I want the council to support this, and if the council thinks it's in our best interest to stay at 5925 Calumet Avenue, that's fine. We just got to fix it. And last but not least, peace and prosperity, economic development, and safety. The Hammond Fire Department, the Hammond Police Department. It is about 75% of all public monies we spend. They're run ably by the Fire Chief, Jeff Smith, and by the Police Chief, John Doty. And these people are top-notch, the firemen and policemen. I tell you, I've had my battles in the past with one or the other, or both. We're in a mode right now where we're just working well together, and they're doing a great job. And I tell you what, as I think it was Councilwoman Vanessa said earlier, when we're sleeping, they're out there protecting us. So to the Hammond Police and Fire, to the people that bring businesses to our city, to the people that clear our lines when it rains too much, to the people that filter our water and pipe it to our house, to the people that clean our water and send it back into the lake, to the people that inspect our buildings. Everybody that works for our city is vital. And I appreciate what you do, and I know the residents appreciate what you do, so thank you. Most of all, to the residents that had the faith in me to vote for a 4th term, I want to say thank you. I hope I don't let you down. To the employees that do their job so well on an everyday basis, thank you as well. To my family and friends for standing by for 12 years while I worked crazy hours, thank you very much for your support. To my father for leading a good example for me, as Mayor Hammond. It's sort of natural to me, which is a strange thing to say, but I remember going to chicken dinners with my dad when I was 13 years old, and I tell you what, those chicken dinners paid off somehow, because when I took over at City Hall, I felt like I was ready for it. I felt like I was sort of trained, and that was because he was a great mentor for me, and a great mayor of our city. The city, you know, the Indiana Code requires me to give a public speech once a year called the State of the City. Since it's January 1st, this counts, by the way. The state of Hammond is strong. The future is bright, and I'm looking very much forward to the next 4 years to serve as Hammond's mayor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm looking forward to working with my fellow colleagues. Today there's a celebration at my campaign headquarters from noon to 5 o'clock. The Notre Dame game will be aired, so please stop by if you get a chance. There will be food and drinks offered. Thank you all very much, and congratulations.
Closing prayer by Pastor John Wilkerson, First Baptist Church of Hammond.
Let's pray together, can we please? Our Heavenly Father, thank you very much for the opportunity to participate in such civic events. Thank you for the men and women who serve this community. I'm very grateful that you allowed my wife Linda and our children to live as residents of Hammond, Indiana. I do pray that you would give wisdom and direction. You tell us in your word that we ought to pray for kings and for all that are in authority, that we might live a peaceable life with all godliness and honesty. I pray that the men and women who have been sworn in today and have taken the oath of office to serve a community would, Lord, provide us peace to live out our lives in honesty and godliness. Thank you for our mayor. Thank you for the way in which he deflected so much of the praise that he could have taken himself to so many other worthy servants who have served with him and in his community. I pray that you give he and Marissa and children great wisdom as they face the pressures of a new year and a new term. And for all those who will serve, I pray you would bless America. I pray that you would please give us wisdom and integrity. And then I pray that you would please bless the city of Hammond, Indiana. We ask this in the name of our Lord Jesus. Amen.
Thank you. Looking forward to a fun, productive next 4 years. We have coffee and pastries in the back, and you're all invited to the campaign headquarters on Indianapolis Boulevard. Thank you. Happy New Year.